Hi everyone, welcome to Fire Soltaro. Today I'm bringing you a reading. There was a subscriber's request. This reading is about what your future spouse parenting style is. So, how is your future spouse as a parent with the children that you have together? So, clearly, this is for people that would like to have children with their future spouse. The way I'm gone about this is that. These are like the archetype cards that represents part of their parenting style, and within that there is also like a shadow side. Then I also went through this deck, the vintage oracle deck, and I've basically pulled randomly the entire deck for the three piles. So this is going to describe their parenting style even further, and then I'm going to pull some tarot cards to further clarify, and at the end of the reading I'm going to pull how many children you're going to have together. I've selected the cards of Uno from 1 to 5 because I would say the average person, like on average, people would want between 3, maximum 4, like between 2, 3, and 4 children, generally speaking. And some people do want less, some people want more. So I've pulled the cards, I've included cards from 1 to 5, and then I've also left in the card 4 plus for people that want more than 4, for example, or more than 5. I mean, so when if that card comes out, that means that your family will be like there will be many children, so we'll see that at the very end. So stay until that point. Okay, so for pile 1 we have the warrior card, and this crystal. For the pile 2, the anima mundi and this crystal. And for pile 3 we have the lover and this crystal. So yeah, I'll see you at your pile. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. If you picked the warrior card and this crystal, this is your reading. Now you actually got 2 archetype cards, just randomly shuffling, they came out 2. So I'm going to start with the poet actually, and this card, the poet, talks about the poet is somebody that feels strongly and is not afraid of feeling the intensity, compared to the average type of person. So the poet seeks truth, and therefore is a very deeply honest person that calls for reflection. And also sees the bigger picture. It doesn't really focus on the minute details. So in this reading, this means that your future spouse is somebody that, when dealing with children, it will be very honest. So they're going to say their opinions, or their point of view, to the children very clearly, and they're not going to be afraid of speaking the truth. And so there is an honesty about their way of education, and also they bring the children to reflect on things. So they kind of have a, they make them reason. They make them think about things, and how to and therefore how is best to do things. So they kind of help children understanding why something is happening, and why then there is that consequence to what they did, and so on and so forth. So they're going to be using a rational mind as well. um, and they're going to also, like your future spouse is going to also be somebody that looks at the bigger picture. So it's not going to be there picking at the smallest details of everything that's happening. They kind of have a bigger, a bird's eye view on the situation. So there is a wisdom about the way they teach and educate their children. And also, though the other side of this, so the dark side, when the poet person is off balance, let's say if you know, your future spouse will be, maybe they will be tired, or maybe he or she will be upset for some reason, then that could, the dark side of the poet is that they could actually speak harsh words, like have a bit of a sharp tongue, and therefore that needs to be taken in consideration. So whenever they have a down moment, that this could happen, you know. And the warrior card actually, it's a similar message, because this card talks about fierce clarity, and so the clarity that with which your future spouse will speak to the children, making very clear what is expected, or what is supposed to be happening, and what's the best way to go about it, and then there's going to be like a purposeful action, and you know, and trying to resolve situations, and teaching them how to be resilient. So the warrior card, it's very positive in this aspect, but on the other side, again, you know, if your future spouse is upset, they could end up like using the means of threatening, or you know, being not as not very careful, you know, hurting the feeling of the children, and so like kind of throwing in the towel when there is a moment of like imbalance in your person, you know. So if your future spouse is not balanced, feeling balanced, this shadow side could come out. So these two cards are very similar, I think, in the shadow and also the light sides. But let's have a look at the other cards here that describe. So the first that came out when I saw it was beautiful, because it's love. So your future spouse is going to be a very loving parent. Overall, you know, they are going to be very affectionate. They're going to have this unconditional love for the children, no matter what they're doing, no matter what's happening. There is unconditional love, which means love without any condition. So they're going to be very accepting of the children, and there is this innocence. So card. So your future spouse is going to really respect the innocence of the children as they grow up. So they're going to try to make sure that they're not exposed to inappropriate content, or inappropriate language. You know, they're going to try to maintain the children innocence up until they're grown up until like they're you know, older and more mature to face the world in all its complexity. So they're going to be very careful about this aspect of maintaining their innocence. And then there is playfulness. So I really love this aspect, because they're going to be playing together, you know, with the children. So there's going to be an availability towards them, in terms of maybe like playing hide and seek, or whatever game they want to play. So there's going to be like putting themselves, so your future spouse is going to put himself or herself at the children's level, in terms of participating in a way that is the language of the children, not an adult's world separate from the children. They're going to immerse themselves in the life of the children at any age, and so there's going to be this beautiful aspect. I imagine like even doing like wrestling, you know, like a playful wrestling, or playing tag, or playing board games when they'll be older. Anything at all, like there's going to be always playfulness and a lot of jokes, laughter. So this is what I see, a very joyous kind of atmosphere overall. And then there is adventure. So your future spouse is going to want to bring the children on adventures, like exploring the world, traveling, going around for trips, even a day trip. So I see a lot of nice fun activities to do together within the family. And then there is the awakening. So again, this concept of being having this bird's eye view that we saw with the poet card. So it's like looking at the bigger picture. No matter if the children are, let's say having a tantrum or some moments that are not easy. Your future spouse is going to be able to really emotionally balance the situation in terms of overall, of course. We saw the shadow side, but that's only coming out when somebody's very tired or very upset or having a downtime or something. But like overall, there is this aspect of being very aware about the needs of the children and how they grow and how they need assistance to actually and guidance to actually find their path and find better ways of behaving, better ways of speaking, or whatever it is, the development that they need, really, physically, mentally, emotionally. So your future spouse has got a very good ability to look after the children. And then I see grace. So there is overall a gracefulness, and which also is part of the poet aspect. I mean, if you think about poetry, it's something beautiful, something graceful. So even the way your future spouse is going to speak to the children is going to be very respectful of them, very there's grace in it. There is not uh, any like speaking to them disrespectfully or in an harsh manner overall. Of course, as we said already, the shadow side can be that if somebody gets very tired, then there can be like a bit of a shorter answer given or something like that. But that's where the couple comes in place, and each other sustain each other, like in the moments of when the other is kind of feeling weak, sick, or whatever it is. And then nature. So there's going to be a lot of going in visiting natural places. There's going to be also a natural bond that develops between the children and your future spouse. So the overall feeling is that your future spouse is going to be very natural in their behavior with their children. So there's no fake type of attitude. There is no falsity. It's very authentic. We saw it again with the warrior. There is this honesty, and the poet. There is this like straightforwardness. And then I see beauty. So I think your future spouse is going to be looking after also the children in terms of their aesthetics. I mean, obviously in the most gentle way, in terms of like buying maybe some nice clothes, wanting them to be well looked after, even clean and well groomed in terms of like making the hair, combing the hair, whatever, doing the nails, the basic things that children need, because of course they're not able to look after themselves when they're very young. And so your future spouse is going to look after also the fact that the children look nice and neat, and they're not neglected in their needs. And then there is release. So I think this is to do with releasing tension when tantrums come up, and when there are moments where the children are having or maybe they're sick and they have like a bad mood, and there is sort of this feeling of releasing the tension that builds up, because of course the times when the children start maybe crying uh, consistently, like and with no stop, sometimes when they're very upset or very tired, it can be upset, it can be like sort of it can be disrupting of whatever we are trying to do on the day, let's say. But I see this release of tension, like your future spouse is going to try to maintain the calm and work with releasing the tension that's building up. Intention, I see this as there's going to be intentionality in the way your future spouse is going to want to educate and help your children grow, your children together grow. So there is an intentionality on their part in terms of they put in proper effort, they put in proper intentions in their actions. There is a thought behind the actions, so it's a very thoughtful process. And then there's abundance. Your future spouse is going to make sure that the children have everything that they need. So there's not going to be any shortage of materials to play or to draw or to color, or maybe like the money that are invested in a birthday party or in activities or in experiences, you know. So there's going to be an abundance that is going to be provided for the children to grow in a very joyful and complete type of way, and rich, you know, type of way. And dreams. So this is really a dream for your future spouse that comes to reality, having these children with you. And so there's really this dreamy feeling about, when, for example, when your first baby will be born, there's going to be that kind of a dreamy side of it when when you first experience parenthood, and it's really like a magic moment. And so I see that this aspect very much felt in your future spouse. I also see expression here, so there's going to be intention in terms of making sure that the children can express themselves freely, and as well that your future spouse is going to express everything that they feel to the children. So there is going to be again this honesty, an expression of feelings towards them. So there's going to be a lot of words of love, like they're going to explicitly say I love you frequently, for example, and also they're going to make sure that the children are able to express themselves even creatively. So that's why they're going to provide all the materials, everything that's needed, so that the children can do that and have the right tools and have the right means to do that. And then we have divine timing. So what I see with this is that there is going to be patience in terms of waiting for the children to grow, like in terms of respecting their timing, because it's not like you snap your finger and you do the trick that I taught you to do. It's not like you have to perform at my pace. This is like divine timing talks to me about respecting the children for the time they need to build their growth and to go about it in a natural way. So there is immense respect from your future spouse in terms of understanding what the children need, and the time, and that the timing that sometimes we as adults expect children to do things is not necessarily the time that they need to actually arrive to the point where they have learned a task. Like it could be washing their hands, it could be using the potty, it could be using then the toilet, or whatever is the thing that, or getting dressed, learning how to dress themselves, whatever is the thing that we would want the children to learn, your future spouse is going to respect their timing and is not going to rush them. So this is really, really important. And then there is centering. So I see a lot of balance, like this is about also putting the priority towards the children, like the children are going to be a priority in your future spouse's life. So there is a feeling of, with this card, about making sure that that the needs are met of the children, that there is a prioritization of their wishes and needs, and there is no neglecting of them. And that's why it's kind of like putting them at the center, at the core of your lives together. And then there is purity. So there's going to be an enormous respect of the purity of children the children bring. The fact that they have pure feelings, when they come into the world, they haven't yet experienced any betrayals, any harsh things. And so there is going to be an immense respect of this side of the children, the purity, the naivety. And it's already been expressed before with the other cards of the innocence. So this is a very strong message here. And then I see gentleness. So again, there is this feeling of being gentle with the children, because because it's part of being a good parent. It's part of like understanding that even when it's really really reaching a point where you're sort of feeling like you could explode, you still have to try to maintain a gentleness and and not being harmful. So I see a lot of that in your future spouse. They're going to never like, yes, they can lose their patience, but they're never going to either raise their hands on the children. They're never going to like, they're going to try even not to raise their voice. They're going to try to respect the children as much as it's humanly possible. Because we all know that sometimes patience can be difficult to maintain, especially when we are stressed about other situations and other things that are coming up in life, challenges of life, normal challenges. But let's have a look now with tarot. This is going to be one last clarification, and then I'm going to have a look at how many children you're going to have together. So what kind of parenting style? Okay, wow, the devil. So I think there is this is telling me that there is a bit of possessivity about the children, like your future spouse. It's really protective of them. I think this is the way I see it, and they feel a very strong bond, very visceral bond. And so if anybody will try to harm the children, you best believe that the warrior is going to come out, and slay somebody. I mean, in a metaphorical term. I'm not telling in real terms, but like literally, this is a delicate point, because they're very protective of the children, your future spouse. So let's see more. Okay, Four of Wands. Yeah, this is a symbol of like stability. Basically your future spouse is going to be a rock for the children, and is going to represent a point of reference that the children can always rely on upon throughout the entire life. Like, this is for the long term. So this is like a stable relationship that's going to last for the entire life until basically until death put us apart, that kind of thing. And let's see, the Emperor, your future spouse, carries, no matter what their gender, carries a very masculine energy, so they're going to be very active towards the children. They're also going to have like like they're going to be an authority figure anyway. So whatever, the children are going to be listening to your future spouse, because they are going to make sure that there is respect also, reciprocal respect. So your future spouse is going to be very respectful and gentle with the children, but they're going to also demand respect in response. So if the children are, sometimes children do that, they kind of test the boundaries and see how far can I go with a certain behavior, and your future spouse is going to stop that straight away. So I see a very determined energy with the Emperor about making sure that there is a clear direction, because the Emperor is somebody who makes strategies, somebody that has a plan, somebody that has a direction. So as the Emperor, your future spouse is going to make sure that there is a very clear direction for the children, very clear boundaries that they can't overlap, go over. And one last card I'm going to take, actually I'm going to take it at the bottom, and it's the Fool. The Fool is basically this energy of playfulness that we saw before, going for nice adventures with a light heart, hearted spirit, very very freestyle, spontaneous. So I really like this combination, because there is a bit of everything, and so it seems like a really nice picture to me. But let's see now, how many children are you going to have together? So for pile number 1, what is the most likely number? Okay, two wants to come out. So these are two options. Take the one. Oh, okay. Take the one that resonates the most. 3 actually came out. So 1 child or 2 children, or it could be 3. So 1, 2, or 3, because that's the summing up 1 plus 2. So this was your reading of pile 1. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like my video, and also subscribe my channel if you want to support my work. I would really appreciate that. Share this with somebody if you think they could benefit from watching it, and leave me a comment. I'd love to know if this resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Hi Beltu, welcome to your reading. If you pick the Anima Mundi card and this crystal, this is your reading. So, first of all, you got three cards actually for archetypes: the Kiss, the River, and the Anima Mundi. So let's talk about the Kiss first. With this one, I see your future spouse being very affectionate with the children. They're going to be like, there is going, let's say, one of the love languages of your future spouse is touch, physical touch. So with the children as well, they're going to be holding hands very often, embracing them, giving them little gentle kisses. So I see a lot of this affectionate energy coming from them. With the river, this is very interesting because the river is like sort of a one of the places that is connected to like purification and basically transformation. And so what I see with the river is that your future spouse is somebody that is very transformative, and it's going to be helping the children to evolve in a very natural way, and without having too much too much control. Like they're not going to be a controlling type of parent, but they're going to be of guidance, and they're going to help the children understand how to overcome difficulties and trouble. There's going to be also a lot of forgiveness, because the river is this place where you basically wash away all of your troubles. And so I see your future spouse being extremely forgiving as a parent, and yet of guidance. So it's not like just forgiving and just letting them do whatever they like. There is going to be guidance as well in this towards their best development, and but they're going to be accepting of their mistakes, and about also their issues. So I think there is going to be a lot of listening to the children, listening to their problems, and being open to conversate, and then helping them to overcome these issues and to grow and develop as they need. Now these are the positive sides. Of course, there are also shadow sides in these cards. So the shadow side that is here is that if your future spouse is going to be, let's say, tired or sick or in a weak moment or overwhelmed with other issues maybe in their life, they might end up falling into sort of a torment of emotions. So like being tormented by emotions as they relate to the children. So that's the time when they will need support from you. And also they could feel like overwhelmed with the situation, overwhelmed with dealing with the children. So at the time when your future spouse, you notice that they are in that kind of state, emotional state or mind state, then it's the time to kind of support them. But overall, there is a very positive feeling about the way they help the children grow up. And with the Anima Mundi card, Anima Mundi is about, again, acceptance of acceptance of all. And so no matter what your children are going to be like, your future spouse is accepting of any aspect of them, and doesn't reject anything or anyone. So there is this very beautiful feeling about really embracing people, really like accepting them for who they are, and so the children are going to feel like there is unconditional love towards them, because no matter how they are as personality or in any other way, they're going to be accepted, or in, when they're older, maybe they will express their own opinions and they might differ from what your future spouse opinions are. They're going to be very accepting and very open-minded, I see. And then so basically there's a very awake type of energy from your future spouse, very aware of embracing all the differences between all the people in the family, and that's celebrated actually. It's like the difference is going to be celebrated and really cherished. When they're in, when they're in a good positive energy, that's what you're going to get. But the dark side of this, again, is that they could get overwhelmed by basically overwhelmed by situations where it's too much for them to carry. Like, so let's say if your future spouse is not in the best balanced time of their life, or has got a moment of tiredness, of fatigue, of sickness, of weakness, whatever is going on in their life, then they'll need your support because they feel overwhelmed. So this is repeated twice actually from both the cards as a dark side. So now let's have a look at what came out with these cards. So the first card, actually the first was this one, faith. So there is going to be a lot of faith in the ability of the children to bring forward their best development. There is going to be this kind of a feeling of I trust in you, I believe in you, that kind of feeling. So the children are going to be feeling very accepted and very supported in their growth, and also hold on, I have to think of the word. Yeah, and also nourished for what specifically each of them needs. So there is a faith in each of them, regardless of who they are and what they bring. There is a faith that they bring good in this world. So I see all the flowers, you see. So there is a positivity about on the outlook towards the children. Enchantment. Your future spouse is going to be absolutely enchanted by the children. So like you might even see your future spouse at times just staring at the children in this kind of dreamy look, because they love them so much. And there is this kind of enchantment feeling, like they're fascinated by how beautiful these children are, about by how beautiful their personalities, and all that they bring, the funny sides, the even the cranky moods that then can be turned into like humorous moments. Let's say, when you then have a laugh about why are you being so cranky altogether, things of that sort. But there is overall like a disenchantment, this looking at them like with these eyes, and really really enjoying what you're seeing. This is what I see. Like, there's a very strong sense of appreciation for the children that I can perceive from this card. Protection. Your future spouse is going to be very protective of the children. They're going to act as a guide, as a guard, like nobody can harm them, nobody should harm them, or else you're going to see what's going to happen. I mean, the swans are actually animals that they can turn very aggressive at times, if they feel threatened. I've seen the swans in action, and they can charge strongly. But there is also like I see also the unity of the couple. So the two of you are both going to protecting your children very fiercely. And then there is thought. So there is a thoughtfulness about how your future spouse is going to talk to them, how they're going to act towards them. So there is a lot of thought behind any action, any word. And so this is very beautiful. And then choice. Again, there is like thinking of what is the best choice we can make, for example, today, as like as an experience that we want to bring to the children. So kind of pondering what to buy, what to offer in terms of food, what to offer in terms of adventures, experiences that you can do, or games, what, all sorts of things, and what education to offer. So there is going to be a lot of thought put into planning and deciding what to do for the best for their life. What is the best school to send them to? What is the best creche? So I see a lot of thinking through all the options, and making sure that everything is on point. Transition. So this is a respecting children's transitions. I mean, transitions is the time when a child, for example, needs to break from play to going for, let's say, dinner, and then another transition happens when the child has to go from dinner to I don't know, take a bath and then bed. So there's going to be a lot of attention in making sure that these transitions, even in the routinary day, are well planned and well respected. So for as much spontaneity there can be, but the routine of the children will have to be respected. So their time for sleep, and making sure that they have enough sleep, enough food at the right time, and all these kind of things. And as well, I think transitions as well, in terms of when they are in a transitional phase in their life. So let's say a child is growing from a certain age to another age, and they're basically in a time of transition from the baby stage to the toddler, and then to the child. And these are big steps, and therefore there is going to be an understanding from your future spouse about the fact that now we need to adjust our way of talking to the child, because they're not anymore a baby, they're not anymore a toddler, then they're going to be not anymore a child but a teenager, and so on. So there is a lot of awareness about the child development. And then peace. So overall, your future spouse is going to try to make sure that there is a peaceful environment for the children, whereby they feel safe and they feel calm, and there is overall an atmosphere of peace. So not raising up the voice, and and not having a big drama going on, even in the relationship with you, with their partners, so that we can make sure that everybody feels at peace. Celebration, there's going to be a lot of beautiful time where the family is going to have happy days of celebrating birthdays, celebrating whatever anniversary, graduation, whatever is happening, and it's going to be a really joyful time, where probably I see like a lot of richness, like money is going to be spent to celebrate things, and have a really good time. Ancestors. So I think this tells me that your future spouse is going to rely a lot on what they've learned from their ancestors, their mother, their father, their grandfather, their uncle, their aunts, their grandmother. Like, they are going to sort of translate. This tells me as well that your future spouse probably had a very good childhood and very rich in terms of like family life, and so they're going to want to sort of reproduce this beauty that they've experienced in their family life in the new family that they're creating with you. So that's what I'm getting here. Discernment. Again, I see this choice, thought, discernment. There's going to be a lot of attention to whatever is said, whatever the children are in contact with as content. Like, what are they looking at? What are they watching? What are they listening to? What kind of music are we making them in contact with? Which way do we speak to them? And so you see the way they're calling the mouth, the eyes, and the ears. So this is about which way the senses are going to be stimulated, because that's very crucial in the development of a child. So there is going to be, I think, a careful thinking about what kind of stimuli is brought to these children, and that's going to impact their development since they're a baby, since they're even in the belly. They can already hear, they can already feel, because also, like, the hormones of the mother flow through the bloodstream that's connected to the baby. So already there is an environment. So maintaining, like, let's say, when the mother is pregnant, a peaceful environment for the mother, so she doesn't develop stress hormones which are going to be absorbed by the baby. That's already part of the development. It starts even in the womb. So there is going to be a lot of discernment from your partner in terms of making sure that everything is on point. So this is very important. New beginnings. So it's going to be a joyous moment. You see, like, this woman is actually, I should cover the picture. Hold on. Yeah, there you go, because nudity is not accepted on YouTube, so we need to make sure that pictures are not presenting that. Okay, so anyway, new beginnings. I mean, this is going to be a super joyous time for your future spouse. Like, they're going to be, depending on which is your part in this picture, if you are the woman and your future spouse is a man, they're going to be looking at you, looking after the child, in this sort of amazement, you know, that kind of enchantment feeling that we saw before. So I think there is going to be a lot of admiration for you as well as a parent, while you're looking after your child, you know, and yeah, it's just going to be very sweet. And put it vice versa, you know, if you're a man watching, you're going to admire your future spouse looking after the child, your wife looking after your children. And then I have this sanctuary card. So again, there is this feeling like family is a sacred space, is a sacred place where everything is accepted and everything is loved. And so there is a very there's a feeling here of this is my sacred space, and there is an enormous amount of love and respect, and wanting to make sure that this sanctuary is kept as it is in its purity, in its safety, and in its peaceful, as a peaceful environment as possible. Then there is this perception. So let me reflect on the perception card. Yeah, this reminds me again of the Anima Mundi card, because you see the way there is like a smiling and a sad face. Everything will be accepted, all the emotions displayed by the children are going to be accepted by your future spouse as part of life. And so there is not going to be like that feeling of, well, you can't cry because it's annoying, or you can't be angry because it's not accepted, or you know, so all the feelings are going to be embraced and accepted. And then there is healing. Yeah, that reminds me of the River card. So your future spouse is going to be a very healing presence in the family, because they're going to be able, by accepting all the aspects of life and growth of the children, to be a very healing element and very stable. Like they're going to be offering their listening ear and making sure that the children are actually fine. And then there is gratitude. So your future spouse is absolutely grateful for this miracle that is life, that you two have created together. So I see this blossoming flower, which is representing, in this case, the blossoming of a new life. And so there is again this kind of a sacred feeling of it, like something very important, very much to nurture and very much to protect, and to help blossom, and freedom. So yes, this reminds me again of the open mind of your future spouse. They're going to accept, you know, expression of freedom from the children. Like the children are not going to be like soldiers obeying to commands. The children have the right to express themselves freely, and this is what I see here. And then shadow self, yes, again there is this embracing of the shadow sides of all the children. So and the children then will have to understand also your future spouse and your shadow sides, and because you and your future spouse are going to be embracing the shadow side of the children, they're going to also have acceptance for your shadow side when it comes out, and there is going to be reciprocal respect and acceptance, which is very empowering, as in creating a strong bond within the family. Because yes, we know each other, you know, from bottom to top, and yet we love each other deeply. And this is the real unconditional love that we're talking about. And then there is this kindred spirits. So your future spouse, as a parent, is going to create this relationship with the children, whereby they feel there is a resonance with them. So it's not like that kind of feeling of separate worlds, where I live in my adult world and you live in your child world, and we are two separate planets, and we never meet. You know, like we live on separate planets and we never meet. We're, you know, this kind of foreign feeling. There's no foreign feeling. There is kindred spirits. There is a unity. There is, again, the Anima Mundi, the unity of all, the unity of diversity of people, but all that come together, uniting because there is universal love between all of you. There is this unconditional love, and so it's a very strong bond that I see. I see a very strong family bond created here. But let's see now with tarot and clarify this further a little bit, and then we're going to have a look at how many children you're going to have together. So what's the what is the the clarification on this? How is the future spouse parenting style? Two of Cups. I'm going to take reversals in this reading, there's no point. Two of Cups, Temperance. Again, this is very resonating with the river, with the shadow side and the healing. Yes, because Temperance is all about healing. The river is about healing. So this is a repeated message and a confirmation of this, to be honest. So we're just kind of confirming again this concept of a healing presence from your future spouse. And with the Two of Cups, again, this reminds me of the kindred spirits. So there is like a feeling like nearly your children are your soulmates, you know, because soulmates are not just romantic. Soulmates can be your parents, can be your siblings, can be your friends, can be your children, exactly. So there is this feeling of, you know, we have a strong bond, a soul bond. We are part of the same soul family, not just blood family. There is also soul family here. And that's not always in all of the families. So, to be honest, that's pretty special. Let's see more. I'm going to take one more card, the Fool. There's going to be a lot of playfulness as well. And this freedom. The freedom, the card that we saw. Yes. Being able to express yourself freely, in a free flow. Like a river, you know. The river doesn't really stop when there is an obstacle. It just free flows, and so there is going to be a lot of this feeling of yes, I can be myself boldly and in a light-hearted way, and that's okay because I'm accepted just the way I am. So it's very beautiful, and it's repeated all the time in this reading. And at the bottom, Four of Pentacles, there's going to be a solidity that your future spouse is going to offer in a financial matter as well. So your children are going to be relying on your future spouse support on a material and financial way as well throughout the entire life if they need it. So this was your reading. Actually, sorry, how many children are you going to have? Sorry, completely was missing out on the last part. So let's see, how many children are you going to have together? Oh gosh. Okay, I have too many options, so I'm going to take the ones that turned. Oh, okay, I see a lot of children here. It could be 4 or more than 4. Now, take it as it resonates. I hope this resonated with you, and if it did, please like the video, subscribe my channel. I would really appreciate your support for my work. Also, leave me a comment. I'd love to know if this actually did sound good to you, or if you liked it. And then share it with anybody you think could benefit from watching this. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Hi Peltri, welcome to your reading. If you picked this crystal and the lover card, this is your reading. So let's start with this archetype. So this is telling me that your future spouse is going to be somebody very devoted to the children. And they're going to have like a strong attachment, and they're going to feel very connected to them. They're sort of also going to be in awe of the children, like they're going to admire them as they grow, as they develop. And there is a lot of gratitude for the presence of the children in their life. So I see a lot of like a heartfelt type of bond with the children, very loving and very dedicated. Now, with these cards, the archetypes, this type of archetype cards, they have also a shadow side. So the side of the shadow side of this is that your future spouse could become too attached and too obsessed even about the children, and probably in a way that it could be maybe a little bit controlling, at times, and that kind of anxious attachment to the children, so that it's hard for them to sort of let them go free um, in their own experiences at times. So but this is a shadow side. There is a lot of devotion and a lot of dedication to the children, but at the same time it needs to be balanced, in case, if especially if in challenging times, the shadow side can come out. And challenging times can be when somebody is upset for some reason, is overwhelmed with other life challenges, and at that point, the partner, you are going to have to help your future spouse balance out again themselves, and not be anxious about the children and things of that sort. So this is what I see with this card, but let's see what else happens here. So I see listening. Your future spouse is going to be extremely good at listening to the children, very dedicated about being a good listening ear for any issues, any trouble, any problem that the children want to talk about, or any other chats that they want to have. So, some parents are not very patient with listening to the children. I've seen them many times. And your future spouse instead is going to be somebody very happy to have a good chat, a good long chat with the children, no matter what they're telling. It could be like a funny story, it could be what they've done on the day, it could be something more troublesome. They're going to be there listening to them very, very attentively. Then with this card of trust, there is an enormous amount of trust that your future spouse is going to have towards the children. Trust in their sincerity towards them, trust in what they want to do in their life, and in their decisions. So there is a very beautiful feeling of reciprocal trust that is going to build between your future spouse and the children. So there is going to be open conversations. There is not going to be any being closed off to each other. So it's a very strong bond that I can see. And then balance. So overall, your future spouse is going to have a balanced approach to the children. So even when there are moments of tiredness, when the child is having a tantrum, or when, let's say, the child is not feeling well and he needs extra attention, there's going to be a good feeling of balance. Emotionally, emotionally, your future spouse is going to maintain a calm attitude and not lose patience very easily. So I see that a lot. And reflection. So your future spouse is going to represent somebody that the children can talk to about their inner journey, as a growing soul. And there is going to be space for allowing any reflection to come to the surface, anything that needs to be discussed, anything that the children feel like it's sort of in their head and they want to let it out. It's a moment where your future spouse is going to allow them to talk to him or her, and then mirror back an answer, something that can help assist them in whatever they're having an issue with a lot of patience, with a lot of dedication again. So there is a very thoughtful attitude I can see. And strength. Your future spouse is going to be a pillar for the children. So it's going to be like a rock, a point of reference. And the children are going to look at your future spouse as a very strong person that is able to carry a lot on their shoulder, a lot of responsibilities, and yet maintain this balance and maintain this calm and reflective type of mode. So I see a very mature and wise person as your future spouse, and very strong inside, as well as could be even physically strong. Intuition. So your future spouse is a very intuitive person. They may have water in their chart, very strong, in strong placements. They could even have psychic gifts. And anyway, their intuition is very strong, so they're going to understand the children even if they're not talking, just by looking at them, how they're behaving, what they're perceiving from their energy, and they're going to be carefully gazing and then understanding that maybe the child needs some support in something. So there is going to be a lot of attention to detail, an attentive type of attitude, because they're capable of understanding a lot intuitively. Guardian angel. So your future spouse is going to act as a guardian for the children, literally like somebody that's going to assist them in every step that they need. And so it's going to be like a presence that's always available, always there for anything that's needed. There's not going to be any neglecting of the children. And power. So your children see your future spouse as a powerful and strong person. So I see like a leadership type of position that your future spouse is taking in the, let's say, the management of the family. And so the children really are going to rely on your future spouse a lot, because you see, when somebody is perceived as powerful, they're also perceived as like a pillar, as somebody strong and powerful that you can rely on and you can count on, you know. Compassion. So there is this aspect of being very compassionate. Your future spouse is going to be very understanding of the children and very very accepting of their even their mistakes, even if they go into trouble. They're going to be very compassionate towards them. And union. So there is going to be a sense of a unity of the family, like the family is very close, everybody's close to each other. And also I see your future spouse making sure that if there is more than one child, they are going to feel also they're part of the same family unit, and that it's important to cherish the relationships between each other, with each other. Truth. So your future spouse is going to speak their truth. They're not going to hold back when it's needed to to clearly talk about things that matter. So they're going to intuitively understand what's needed and then speaking their truth. And then there is surrender. So at times they will see that they need to let go of the grip, because they have this tendency to be a bit overbearing, but they also understand that it's very important to let the children evolve naturally. And so there is this kind of surrender attitude as well. So there is a bit of a duality, I see. But this shows me that your future spouse is a very intelligent person, because they understand that they need to balance out even their own shadow self. And then harmony. So your future spouse is going to make sure that the general atmosphere of the household is going to be harmonious, that overall there is a feeling that within the family there isn't a disharmony, that there is a lot of good feelings between each other, that everybody is there for each other, and that there is a general feeling of support from the family, like a safety net and hope. So at times when the children will need to have some words of reassurance, your future spouse is going to be there to give them hope, a sense of no matter what is happening, no matter what you're going through, you will get through it and feel better about it. This is going to pass. You know, everything always transforms, and so they're going to tell them, like, don't worry, like this will pass, and new things will come to life. And patience. They're going to be very patient with the children, even when they're like crying, even when they're like upset or angry, or any tantrums they have. They're going to be very patient. And wisdom. Yes, this is a very wise person, your future spouse. I think they have a lot of experience. They might have had a lot of siblings. For what I don't know, I perceive this like they have a lot of siblings, and so they've developed wisdom as they to relate to younger people, because they might have been either a middle child or the eldest, And so they had a lot of younger children that they helped bringing up, for what I can see. I don't know, I perceive this. And so they reach this wisdom in terms of how to relate to children and change. They're going to embrace the change and transformations that happen. And this is a second owl, so there is a lot of wisdom in your future spouse that I can see. Double owls here. So there is this feeling that they understand that children change. They go through stages from the baby to the toddler to the child stage to the teenager and then a young adult and so on. And so they embrace this change. Your future spouse is very intelligent and very intuitive about understanding what is best to do and how it is best to approach children as they change and transform during the different stages of life, of their life. Let's go now. I get a confirmation through tarot, and then we'll have a look at how many children you're going to have together. So let's see what kind of parenting style. First of all, your future spouse is going to provide the children with a lot of material stability. Like the children can ask for help in terms of anything they need. You know, your future spouse is going to make sure that they can rely upon them for material things, anything at all. Like literally they're going to make sure that they are available to provide. Again, there is more pentacles. Like your future spouse is a hard worker, and they're going to also teach the children that how important it is, the value of you know, working honestly and hardly and putting in the work if you want to see results. So I see a lot of these kind of values being communicated to the children. The value of putting in work for what, in things that you're passionate about, getting your skills and learning a craft, you know, something that you want to putting in the work in your projects, something that you love. Let's see what else. Ace of Swords. Yeah, this is the clarity of speaking. Like we saw it before. This is a confirmation of the Truth card. So actually, these cards here remind me a lot of the the Strength card. You know, working all year around, working hard to reach your goals and building your strength, your points of strength even as a profession, you know. And then the Ace of Swords, the Truth. So that your future spouse is going to be speaking very openly with the children. There is not going to be beating around the bush when they need to say something clearly. They're going to be very clear cut, you know. There's not going to be like trying to make the pill be sweeter, let's say. You know, if something needs to be said, has to be said, and they're going to make sure that the concept is clear. There is going to be anyway not an aggressive manner that I can see through these cards, but it's simply a determination in making sure that the message gets through. And let's see one last card at the bottom. Oh, again, more pentacles. Like literally your future spouse is going to teach the children that if they put in the work, they're going to reap rewards. So this is one big message that's going to remain with them for life. Okay, so let's see now for and to be patient as well. To be patient, to wait for for the seeds that you've planted to transform into plants and then fruits, and then you can harvest. So to be patient as you go about building up your life. This is one of the main messages that your future spouse is going to teach the children. Right, let's see now how many children are you going to have together. 2 children. Okay, so pile number 3, this was your reading. I hope you liked it. If you did, please like the video and please support my work. I would really appreciate it by subscribing to the channel. Share this with anyone you think would benefit from watching it, and also please leave me a comment. I'd love to hear what you thought about this, if you liked it, if it resonated with you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.